All right. So this is the good stuff. Well, it's all the good stuff. It's all the good stuff because it all goes and drops us into the remembrance, right? Like everything about the soul, the body, like the deep fucking magic, the primordial essence, the primal, what I call primal self reintegration, all of it, all of it, all of it. It's the good stuff because it allows you to stop pretending that you're something less than you are. And what I found in myself and others, that whenever we stop, whenever we hesitate, whenever we start second guessing, whenever we trip ourselves up, whatever you want to call it, self-sabotaging, all of the energetic blockages, whatever, whatever it is that you call it. When we get to that place where something is actually working, and I've had clients tell me, like, this working with you, like this stuff, this work, it's like changed everything. And also, right, like, and also I can't do it anymore, right? I know I have done this with mentors in the past, and I didn't recognize what was happening at the time. I didn't recognize how deep in the shit that I actually was. I didn't recognize how deep in the resistance I was. I could feel it. I was aware on some level, like, this is not actually fully true because it's working. So why would I stop doing it? So like there was this like almost like intangible awareness, and yet I still stopped doing the stuff that was working. Now, this doesn't only apply when you're like just to working with mentors. This also has to do with you working out, like you training. And I mean, not just like working out for shits and giggles, but I mean, fucking training your body, your mind, the way that you eat, the way that you move, the way that you show up in your body every single day, training for life, training to be like, it's really like you're training to be in mastery of your own life experience, right? Like that type of stuff, what's working, and yet you still stop. This might be like the rituals that you do, practices daily, like if you're doing your sex magic practices, if you're one of my clients, you're doing your wild nectar practices. Obviously, I'm doing my own wild nectar practices. Whatever it might be, your breath work, journaling, your jade egg, um, like so many things, lifting, powerlifting, sprints, bleachers, like whatever it is, what it is, the things that work for you, and you also know that they are the things that you stop doing because, right? And maybe you're like, I have no idea why. I don't know why. Like, what's the because? Please tell me what the because is. Because you think it's got to be way harder. You think that the things that are working aren't working because you're expecting the thing that's going to work to be some, oh my God, dramatic, hard. It's got to be the hardship. It's got to be what is the word? It's got to be like struggle bus. It's got to be the strategy. You got to learn all the things, and everything has to look pretty, and it's got to be perfect, and it's got to be so lined up with someone else's idea of what it is to be successful, of what it is to be free, of what it is to be creative, what it is to have an impact, of what it is to be a healer, coach, leader, mentor, muse, guide, artist, creator, messenger, all of the things, all the things, you're all the things. And you're still, the reason that you stop doing the things that work, right? The reason that you give up on the things that are working is because you have encoded around someone else's idea of what it's going to take. And the reason that it's so hard for you to keep going, or to do the things that other people are saying, like, this is what it's going to take, is because it's not aligned with your soul. It's some idea that someone said along the way, and then you encode it around that is a thing I have to do, except it's not in alignment for you. And so you keep going back to that thing. You're like, this is what it's going to take. This is what it's going to take. It's not what I like. It doesn't turn on my soul. It's not in alignment for me. It's not even resonant, but I think I have to do this. This is the belief system. Now over here, oh wow, I'm doing all these things, right? Like I'm doing celery juice every morning. I am like I'm hitting the gym, or okay, I guess we're not in the gym right now, but I'm hitting the road. I'm going for a run. I'm cycling. I'm hiking. I'm hitting the mat. I'm doing like all the things. I'm doing my plyos at home, like whatever it is. Right? using today's day of what we can do workout wise, right? Training wise. So whatever it is, so eating, you're making decoctions, like you're doing the things. You've got your sex magic practice. You're working like sexual energy transmutation. You're doing the journaling piece. You're doing the mindset piece. You're working with emotional space, your emotional intelligence, like all the stuff, like whatever it is that works for you. You know what works for you, and you're doing the things. But you have convinced yourself. Someone else convinced you, and now you can keep reinforcing that idea that someone else gave to you. You keep reinforcing that idea, that ideal, that societal more, right? Or whatever like happens to fit into the people group that you identify as, and that you're trying to like get like become even better and step into mastery around. Like, so whatever that is, being a creator, being a teacher, being a healer, being a performer, whatever it is, like that thing that you're really wanting mastery around, you've encoded around this societal idea of what that's going to take. And so even though all of the pieces that you have in place that are working, and you know they're working, even if you haven't fully consciously like allowed yourself to acknowledge how much they're working, doesn't matter, right? But you know, you fucking know, you know they're fucking working. And yet you have not actually allowed yourself to fully trust and believe in them as the way into your own freedom and liberation and unleashing of exactly who you came here to be, so you can do whatever it is, like the exact thing that you came here to do. So even though you know it's working, and you know it's working, you think that it's, even if you're like, oh, I think it's working, but I think it's just like, you know, maybe I might be a little bit happier, maybe I might have had better sex last night, like, wow, that was a pretty cool orgasm. Or, you know, oh yeah, like I mean, I had this amazing moment where I just like had my entire body rocked, and like I saw God, and I was able to like hear the, you know, God's truth through me. And I was like, oh my God. And then I journaled all about it. And then I, you know, like, but I mean, but that was just like that one time. Like it was just, you know, whatever, just like felt the entire universe in my womb. But, you know, like whatever, it was just like that one time. It's really just not working though. It's not working fast enough. It's not getting me where I want. It's not getting me like the tangible results. So I'm just going to stop all the things that are actually turning on my soul, that are actually working. And I'm going to go for this other like random idea, this random strategy that does not turn on my soul. Not even strategy. Let's just go for it. Like some sort of tactic, some sort of quick tactic that's going to get a quick result, or at least I've been told is going to get a quick result. And I'm just going to go for that. And then it's not going to work. I'm not going to enjoy doing it. I'm going to start and stop and start and stop, because it does not turn on my soul. It's not in alignment for me. My body is like, please, what the hell are you doing? And then I'll go and I'll dabble in the things that work again. And then they'll start working again, and I'll start dropping in. But my belief system is still over here. I still don't trust in this. I don't have faith. I don't have the faith that this is actually going to allow me to step into who I need to be in order to magnetize the things that I want to me. So instead, I'm going to go back into this other way of living, of existing, of following the tactics and trying to chase after the thing, rather than allowing myself to actually be who I came here to be and magnetize what I want to me, magnetize the results to me, because of the essence, because of the energy, because of like just like what I'm fucking evoking simply by walking into the room. I'm going to stop that. Even though it's working, I'm going to stop that. Right? Because my belief has not caught up. My belief has not caught up with the things that I already know are working, right? Hear me, hear me. So if your beliefs are still over here on the things that someone else told you had to do in order to have whatever it is that you're trying to step into, whatever results that you're craving and that you're after, if you still have the belief that this is the way that you have to do it, even though you know you don't like it, even though it doesn't turn on your soul, even though you know it's not in alignment for your body, your nervous system, your breath, like you, but you still believe in it, right? You don't want to believe in it, but you still believe in it. You haven't done the work because you're still believing it. Like you've done the work, but you haven't done the work around shifting that belief system. The belief is still over here. You will not stick with the things that are working, right? You will not stick. You may not even be able to fully recognize the things that are working and understand like how far you've progressed with the tools that you have in place. You might half-ass the tools that you have in place, whether this is working with a mentor, whether that's like a book that is like, you have these books. You know, you have the books that are like, oh my God, this is so life changing, but you can't read more than like one page a year, right? Like, because it is so deeply opposite of what you've been encoded to believe as the truth, as the way, right? It's so against that old belief system, and so it starts to buck up against whatever the saying is. bump up against, I think that's it, bump up against your identity, because you identify as someone who believes in this thing. Like this belief has become a part of who you are, and so you believe this thing. And if you chose to shift into something else and no longer believed in this thing, then you would have been wrong. We don't like to be wrong. You know what? We don't like it. We don't like it. And we really don't like to be wrong on something that was encoded into kind of that, like what we think is like it's encoded into the very fabric of who we are. It's not. It's really not. It's not. It's simply a belief, but it's become so entrenched in us, so ingrained, enmeshed with our actual truth and our actual identity of soul self, of soul essence, of like original essence, that we believe that this belief is part of who we are. And if we let that part of us go, like if we let that belief go, then we're losing a part of ourselves, and that we were wrong about a part of ourselves, and that we don't know that part of ourselves, right? And so like it's very scary to feel like you're losing a part of yourself, losing a part of your identity, and so you stay with that old belief. And so what it takes here, right here, so the inquiry that you drop into, that you can, if you want to, you don't fucking have to, of course not. Do whatever you're gonna do, right? Obviously you're gonna, but the inquiry, if should you choose to accept it, the inquiry is then, okay, so what, how am I identifying myself? Like, how is my identity enmeshed with the belief that it has to be this way that I already know is not working for me, right? So how is my identity, my sense of self, how has that become enmeshed with the belief that I know is not working for me, but I keep going back to it over and over and over again, instead of actually sticking with what I know works for me as a soul, in this body, in my humaning experience. So an example of this would be like, um like sharing, like writing emails, right? So, you know me, like if you're on my email list, if you're not, scaleyouриmpact.co, you get an entire free, like fucking mind blowing, blow your soul wide open program from me. Make sure you go do all the things. And so, you'll know if you are on my email list that like, I'm a fucking writer. Like I write the things write me, like I'm a writer. Right. And I love being able to step into email as a way to share and connect with my people. And I've studied years, like I mean, years of online marketing and copywriting and email and list building and social media and all of the things. And most of it did not fit. However, I had this belief that because I like creator, like I got the things, I'm in the medicine and the cosmos and like the ether and like God and like, oh, and pussy and breath and soul and like, yes, 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 all the things. But I had encoded so deeply that I sucked at running businesses, like that I sucked at money management, that I sucked at being able to have that much structure, or to have the structure that would allow me to actually succeed and bring my writing and my musings and my message and coaching and all of it and the healing and the art and all of the things out into like into the world in the way that I'm, really like pro level, right? And so I would, even though my soul was like, this sucks. We don't want to write this way. We don't want to do email campaigns this way. We don't want to do funnels this way. We don't want to run Facebook ads this way. We don't want to run like all of things. Like this does not align. But right, like, but all the people that I was paying, like that I was studying under, this was the way, this is the way, this is how you do it. And I was like, well, I had encoded in my identity that as a creator, I sucked at being an entrepreneur. I sucked at doing all the businessy things. And because that was a part of my identity, then I would keep going back to the things, the tactics that I knew did not turn on my soul, that were not aligned for me. I would keep going back to them, even though they didn't feel good, even though I had the things. I knew, like, fuck, just sit down and write, send it out, like without like worrying about, whatever, all of the things that if you've studied these types of things, like there are so many things that you're supposed to do and blah, 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 blah. Without all that stuff, like if I just sat down, boom, like boom, boom, everything fell into place. But I had encoded so deeply around this old identity, or around this false identity, and what it meant, if I was to really let go of that identity, it felt like it was also me letting go of me being a creator, right? Because like equal and opposites, right? So the part that I didn't enjoy was that like you suck as an entrepreneur, you suck at like doing like businessy things and like and having systems and all these things. But the opposite of that was the reason I sucked was because I was so creative and I was so dropped in, and I was like I was all up in like just like the primordial muck and like all these things, right? And if I all of a sudden became like good and dare I say started fucking rocking, right? Like, oh my goodness, dare I say, like, oh my, I could not, like there, it would have been like in my belief system, in my identity that had become enmeshed with something that did not work. It was that if I let go of one, I had to let go of the other, right? Because they were so enmeshed, which would have meant like, you were wrong. You aren't really that creative. You aren't a writer. You aren't artistic. You aren't dropped in. You're not a healer. You don't have the medicine. Like, what are you doing? Like, no, no, no. Like, it would have all been like, I would have lost it all if I let go of part of the identity because it was so enmeshed in the truth, right? The false was so enmeshed in the truth that I couldn't let go of the false because it felt like I was trying to rip apart like part of who I was. And so we've got to really start to understand how our actual identity, our soul self, has become enmeshed with the false self, and how then is that impacting the way that you are taking actions, what actions you happen to actually be taking, and how you are giving up on the things that you know actually work for you and that are aligned and they are the truth, the way, and the light, but you think that this other stuff is your path, even though deep down you know it's not. So that's the invitation, that's the inquiry. Right below, let me know what comes through for you. Let me know, like, let me know where you have been led into the swampland and and you've become so enmeshed that you cannot see, like, ooh, to separate, and you cannot allow yourself, you just cannot allow yourself to step in and go all in on the things that you fucking know work for you, right? Right. Okay. Does that feel good? Yeah. Yeah. Like another piece, no, another piece is like I've been putting off, like, if you've been with me a while, you know how long I've just been like, oh, I'm going to start back. I'm going to start back to live streaming. I'm going to do it. And I mean, for so long, I was doing live streams every single day. And this was back in the day on Periscope, like it was every single day. And then I was doing Facebook lives, but I just didn't feel good. Facebook has never been my full on, just like jam as a creator. I use it as I use it, but it is not like it's part of the biz, but it's not the biz, right? And but so I was doing live streams all the time, and then when I stopped, it just fucking stopped, and I've been like, okay, I know where I wanted to. I knew it was YouTube. I knew I wanted to do them on YouTube, but all the things that were like, yeah, but if you do it on YouTube, then you're gonna have to do this, and you can't do it from your phone. Because you don't have 10,000 subscribers yet. Why do you not have 10,000 subscribers yet? Well, probably because you never use, probably because you've never fucking used YouTube, right? So you get into these catch 22s, right? But if you don't YouTube, like if you don't already have your 10,000 subscribers, current rule is you have to actually go live from your phone, use something like OBS, or like I use Zoom, whatever it is, to actually go live. And so that was one reason, like, oh, but I want to do it on YouTube, but I can't do it easily. I have to do all this setup and blah, blah, blah. Setup being like going live on my computer instead of on my phone. And then like all the things like YouTube notifications are so different than Facebook notifications and Periscope notifications. So it means like if you start going live, like no one's going to see it because no one's going to get the notifications and all these things. So I had all of this stuff enmeshed, even though I know live streams, they turn on my soul, right? Like they're fucking part of my jam. But I had all this stuff that was like enmeshed, like, oh, and here are the rules. Here are the things that you have to have in place, and so much resistance, and here's all the falsehood. And when you listen to that, you stop yourself from actually going all in on the things that you know fucking work. Like the things that you know work. So yes, on a body and soul care and spiritual aspect, but also on the way that you're sharing your message, that you're creating, that you're showing up and creating space and holding space for the fucking muse to work in and through you, and then have the impact that you know that you're here to have, stepping into the embodied leadership that you know you're here to step into. Like, so what is the thing? What's over here? What's the falsehood that you're all up in? You're all up in. You're so enmeshed with, your identity is so enmeshed with, that it is keeping you from actually going all in on what matters most, and what you already know moves the needle. So all the things that you keep starting and stopping, even though you know that they work, right? But you keep going back into the tactics and the hacks and the quick fixes, or the things that everyone else is telling you it has to be this way. Resistance is telling you it has to be this way. All your old encoding is saying it has to be this way. So what is that? How are you enmeshed? How are you all up in that stuff that is keeping you from stepping into the thing and staying in the thing that that you know is what actually works for you, regardless of what works for anybody else, but you know that it's the truth. You know that it is the truth, the way, and the light for you. Yeah? Yes. All right. Let me know what comes up through, or what comes up through you, what comes up for you, what comes through for you as you drop into the invitation and the inquiry. If you don't know, now you know. I have Recalibrate. It is open. Mixtape. It drops next week. Get in right now. Super early adopter deliciousness, because I'm holding a live ceremony, Wild Nectar ceremony, next week. So if you join, make sure you're in by Tuesday, and we will we'll go live with the ceremony on Wednesday. It's going to be fucking fantastic. If you know that you're a multidimensional messenger, you know that you are here to do the thing, and you're like, and I know the things that work, except I'm not doing them. I'm just not. I'm not. I'm all about being like dropped in and embodied and showing up, except, sometimes I'm just, what? Squirrel, say what? Yep. Yep. Cool. Cool. And you're like, but the message and the medicine, and why the hell am I not going all in? And you're like, oh, wait, because my nervous system is in like massive shitstorm of epic proportion. Right, 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 right. If that's kind of feeling like what's happening for you, and you're ready to go all in, and you're ready to actually have the daily practice of being who you say that you fucking are, then I invite you in to Recalibrate. You can go to joinrecalibrate.com. Come in now. You want to be in by Tuesday, because that's how you get access to the live ceremony that is happening on Wednesday. I'm telling you, you want to be in on this. If you are not already in, I already have some fabulous fucking people who have joined. If you want to be one of them, come play. The practices in Recalibrate are like 10 to 20 minutes, so you can do them every single day. And it's the space where you actually create space. You create space for the genius, for the madness, for the soul, for the art, for the breath, for God, art, soul to move through you, and you get your work, your medicine out into the world at the level that you know you are here to create. And you also, right, you're not giving up life. You have it all, and you have it all, like message wise, impact medicine wise, but also life wise, right? Like you actually get to live your best life with the people who matter most, and you get to take action on the projects, the art, the mission, the impact that matters most at the same time. You get to fully unleash your creativity, your madness, because you're taking care of the temple. So if that feels like something you're into, then I invite you to join us at joinrecalibrate.com. You can DM me on DM me. You can DM me. You can DM me on Instagram if you have any questions at Nikka Karli. Yeah, I love you. That was the weirdest kiss ever, but that's from me to you. I love you all so much. Thank you for being here as always. Here's to your untaming. Wild ones. Okay. Okay, no, for real. Bye.